Have you ever wondered why a woman suddenly opens up about her problems? Most men dismiss it as complaining, but that's where they lose her. What feels like small talk is, in truth, an invitation into her inner world. Miss that moment and you miss her heart. When a woman shares her struggles, she isn't asking you to fix them. She's testing something deeper. Are you the kind of man who can hold her emotions without losing your balance? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is exactly what she's looking for. She doesn't want lectures or quick solutions. She wants to feel safe in your presence, to see if you can remain calm when she is vulnerable. Anyone can laugh with her when she's happy, but not everyone can stand steady when she's fragile. Imagine she tells you her boss embarrassed her at work. Most men rush to say, then quit your job or stand up to him. Logical, yes, but emotionally it misses the point. What she really wanted was for you to pause, to look at her and say, "That must have been tough. I understand why you'd feel that way." Seneca reminded us. Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. When she shares her pain with you, she's showing courage in choosing you as the one to see it. That is never small. A stoic man doesn't get pulled into her storm. He listens, steadies himself, and through his calm presence, proves that he is different. Epictetus said, "Any person capable of angering you becomes your master." If her emotions can shake your center, you fail the test. But if you remain composed, she feels trust, and trust is the foundation of attraction. When she tells you her problems, it's not random. It's a signal of trust, a doorway to intimacy. Don't rush to solve, don't dismiss, don't get defensive. Simply be present. The man who can remain unshaken in her storms is the man she will never forget. When a woman shares her problems, it's not just conversation. It's a silent test. She's measuring whether you can remain grounded when she is not. Most men don't realize this. They think stoicism means being cold or detached. But real stoicism is calm, strength. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." She wants to see if you can face her storm without crumbling. Picture this. She confides in you about feeling left out by friends. If you dismiss her, it's not a big deal. She feels unseen. If you panic, "That sounds crazy. I don't know what to say." She feels you are weak. If you overreact, cut them off right now. You add more chaos. But if you listen, stay calm, and acknowledge her feelings, she feels safe. That's passing the test. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." Brave men don't fear a woman's emotions. They hold steady as she expresses them. This steadiness is what separates you from other men. Women are drawn to stability because in a chaotic world, stability feels like strength. Epictetus warned, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." Your reaction in these moments tells her everything. Do you lose control, or do you remain centered? The man who can listen without judgment, who can stand firm when emotions rise, is the man she will respect and the man she will choose. One of the biggest mistakes men make is trying to solve a woman's problems when she shares them. Men are wired to fix things. But when she opens up, she usually isn't asking for a solution. She wants connection. Marcus Aurelius said, "To listen well is almost as great a blessing as to speak well." She speaks. She's not asking you to build answers. She's asking you to understand her heart. Imagine she says, "My boss never appreciates me." If you answer, then quit your job. You skipped over her feelings. You solved the surface but ignored the soul. What she really wanted was a steady presence, someone who could hear her and acknowledge her struggle. Seneca wrote, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Listening is more powerful than solving because it creates intimacy. A woman falls for the man who makes her feel seen, not the one who always has the perfect fix. Epictetus taught, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen more and talk less." When you simply listen, she often finds her own solution. What she remembers is not your advice, but how safe she felt in your presence. So resist the urge to solve. Be calm, be attentive, and let her feel heard. That is what builds trust, and trust is the seed of love. When a woman opens up to you, it's not something she does with everyone. Vulnerability is never casual, it's a choice. And if she chooses you, it means she sees you as someone she can trust. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When she shares her unpolished thoughts with you, she's showing a side most people will never see. That moment is a gift, not a burden. Too many men dismiss it as drama or background noise. They roll their eyes waiting for her to finish. But a Stoic man knows better. He sees it as her way of asking, silently, "Can you hold this part of me without judgment?" Imagine she tells you she feels left out among her friends. If you treat it lightly, she feels foolish for opening up. Next time, she'll close off. But if you acknowledge her feelings and remain steady, she learns you are safe ground. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." By letting her express those feelings, you help her release them instead of carrying them alone. Epictetus reminded us, "No man is free who is not master of himself." If her emotions shake you, you fail the test. But if you stand calm, listening without being pulled under, she sees you as stable. And stability is magnetic. Her vulnerability is not weakness. It is trust. And the man who respects that trust will find himself closer to her than words could ever explain. When a woman tells you her problems, it's more than venting. It's an invitation. She is saying, "Here's a side of me few get to see. Will you come closer or stay on the surface?" Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In that moment, being a good man means listening with presence, not fixing or dismissing. It's about showing her she is safe to reveal her true self. Imagine she shares how her boss embarrassed her at work. Most men respond with solutions. "You should have said this or do that next time," but that misses the point. What she wants is for you to see her, to acknowledge her pain, and to remind her she is stronger than she feels. A simple, calm response can do more than any advice. Seneca said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." Her vulnerability is your chance to show kindness without losing your strength. Your calm presence is what makes her feel safe to open up again. Epictetus taught, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." If you would be the man she can trust, then practice holding your frame even when emotions run high. That steadiness becomes unforgettable. Her sharing is not weakness, it is a bridge. Cross it with care, and you build intimacy deeper than words. One of the greatest mistakes men make is trying to fix every problem a woman shares. She doesn't want a repairment, she wants an anchor. What steadies her is not your solutions, but your presence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When she comes to you in distress, she doesn't need a step-by-step plan. She needs to feel your calm strength, to know her emotions don't shake your foundation. Picture this. She tells you she's overwhelmed at work. If you respond with advice, talk to your boss, update your resume. It may sound logical, but it makes her feel unheard. Instead, saying, "That sounds tough. I understand why you're upset," grounds her in a way no advice could. Seneca said, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable." By listening without judgment, you show her that her emotions cannot conquer you. That calm steadiness is what makes her feel safe enough to trust you deeply. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." If you stay composed, she begins to see you as her anchor. And once a woman feels anchored to you, she won't forget it. You become the man she turns to, not for answers, but for peace. Ground her, don't fix her. Presence is what wins her heart. Just because a woman shares her problems doesn't mean you must carry them. Many men confuse support with sacrifice and end up drained. She doesn't need you to drown in her emotions. She needs you to remain steady. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." The test is not whether you solve her struggles, but whether you stay calm as she expresses them. Stability is what she truly seeks. Imagine she tells you about her family drama. If you take it on as your burden, you'll feel exhausted and resentful. But if you listen with empathy while keeping your frame, she respects you more. She sees a man strong enough to hear her storms without being destroyed by them. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." When she confides in you, it's your chance to prove strength not by fixing everything, but by showing you cannot be shaken. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." For emotions control you, you lose her respect. But if you remain composed, she feels safe, and safety is the foundation of desire. Don't confuse love with carrying every burden. She doesn't want a savior. She wants a presence. The man who remains unshaken in her storms is the man she will fight to keep.